I'm Phil Kinson, Medical Market Manager, Husky Injection Molding Systems. And today's presentation is going to be regarding the power of partnership, optimizing technology for multi-cavity medical molds. There's a corporate overview for Husky. Husky is one of the largest, if not the largest, supplier of injection molding equipment into the industry. We have a history of innovation, sales of US 1.2 billion with 3,200 employees worldwide. Globally, we have a company-owned sales and service network, and out of our 40 offices worldwide, we're supporting over 100 countries. We are a technology leader with a strong culture and values. So the headquarters for Husky is Bolton, Canada. It's the global headquarters. Husky is manufacturing machines, PET molds, and hot runners out of this facility. The European headquarters is in Dudelange, Luxembourg, where we're manufacturing molds for PET and also hot runners. The Asian Technical Center is in Shanghai, where also we're manufacturing machines and hot runners. We also have a hot runner manufacturing facility in Milton, Vermont, which supports most of the hot runner requirements for North America and South America. Husky's been involved in the medical industry since the 60s. Husky was supplying complete medical systems from the 60s onwards. Medical is a rapidly growing market for Husky, and overall we've been involved in over 10,000 medical projects. For Husky, we split the market into pharmaceutical packaging, consisting of labware, bottles and closures, and also vials, cartridges, and tubes. The second category is devices, and within devices we have diagnostic disposables, infusion, sharps, drug delivery such as auto-injector pens and inhalers, and also IV components. And we're actually running an IV component system on our stand. So specifically for this presentation, we're talking about the partnership of Husky, TechMold, and ICU Medical. Last year, ICU Medical came to Husky with a new project, a new application. The requirements for the part and the mold were that the part weight was 0.17 gram. The material was polypropylene. It's a 32 cavity mold, and the target cycle time was 6 seconds. The existing mold was cold runner, 16 cavity and running at extended cycle times. So at Husky, everything starts with the part. Husky did the flow simulation on the part, understanding the required fill times, required fill pressures. Husky had our mold partner, TechMold, involved to offer the mold solution. We worked together in order to offer the best possible solution to ICU Medical. So what were the customer requirements? They needed consistent cavity-to-cavity part dimensions, guaranteed gate quality at aggressive cycle times, and direct gating of the parts. No cold runner, no material used for cold runner within the mold. What were the constraints for Husky? Low part weights, difficult to achieve acceptable shear rate within the hot runner due to such a low part weight. How fast do we need to inject in order to reach a sufficient shear rate? And will the pressure drop be too high within the manifold with the small melt channel sizes that we're required to do this? And can we achieve the optimum part-to-part consistency, which is really driven in part by the balance of the hot runner? So as part of the full application review that Husky do in-house, we first take a sample of the customer resin to really understand the properties of the resin. We run this through Husky machines, through Husky hot runners, where we're able to change the configurations of the machines, the hot runners, using thermal hot tip and using valve gates, really to understand the full process window of the material in order to help us optimize the hot runner design. We then do the full part flow analysis on the part to understand the injection time required on the parts, the pressure required to fill the parts. Then it's also important for us to consider the melt channel sizing within the hot runner as well. So we consider the full pressure drop through the hot runner and the parts. And obviously only the hot runner supplier is in a position to do this. So to be able to keep this in-house at Husky, keep the customer IP internal at Husky is a major advantage. We then start work on the hot runner design. So really we use our in-house tools, computer-aided engineering, thermal FEA and complex fluid dynamics to design the optimum hot runner to fulfill the requirements for the project. Here we see with this particular application, one of the constraints that we have is that it's a very small part weight. So we need to be able to provide a balanced system within the manifold, but to still keep the residence time under control throughout the complete system. So the first process for us is to design the melt channels in such a way that we have a balanced flow, controlled residence time, and a shear rate which is acceptable throughout the system, so we don't see material stagnation in the melt channels and degradation in the parts. This is essential for producing a product and a system which can consistently produce good quality parts. So we look at the effects of the melt channel sizing on how we do this. In order to increase the shear rates, we need to go smaller on the melt channels, but there's a corresponding trade-off in terms of pressure drop. So this is all tied back to the injection fill time that the machine can give and really work back from the system. So to start with the part, to work back into the hot runner, and then to work back into the machine barrel is essential to produce a part with an acceptable process window. And Husky is able to accept this pellet to part essential part of the project. So the solution for Husky was to use our Ultra 350 UltraSync E hot runner. And we'll show some details of this on the next slide. But essentially this is a synchronized valve gate system using electric servo drives, really trying to minimize the use of pneumatics and hydraulics within the molding system. For the manifold channels, this is optimized by computerized fluid dynamics. So we simulate what happens under injection pressure as the material heats up through shear during injection. And the thermal FEA to ensure that every part of the system is thermally as well as geometrically balanced to offer a perfectly balanced fill. And ultimately, what we're really after is part-to-part dimensional consistency. For the machine selection, we chose to use our Husky HMED all-electric machine. This is Husky's introduction into the all-electric machine line. We can see this machine running on our stand today. In fact, this complete system is running on the Husky booth this week. The temperature controller is supplied by Husky. It's an Altanium temperature controller, which also contains the servo drives required to run the servo motor for the valve gate control. Our mold partner on this project was TechMold in Arizona. Product handling was supplied by Husky, and overall system integration through Husky. So here we see the system put together. So we have a 100-ton all-electric machine on the left, and we have the mold supplied by TechMold with the 32-drop UltraSync E hot runner. The controls for the UltraSync E are built into the Husky Matrix, Altanium Matrix temperature controller, and this is the part that we're producing.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Just a reminder, the design pen is located upstairs in the third floor ballroom. Please stop by to visit these.
So if we open the video, we can see the machine running. We have a fan filter unit on top of the machine. This is ensuring that we're able to achieve a Class 8 or 100,000 clean room within the clamp area. The complete system, including the chiller, the conveyors, the fan filter unit, as well as the mold and hot runner, was supplied through Husky by partners to Husky. And here we see the mold running. We're actually able to achieve a cycle time of 3.5 seconds on this part. And through valve gate gating, we're able to achieve excellent gating. One of the most important parts for medical molding is to eliminate vestige where possible, and flexible vestige which can break off and potentially contaminate the IV set. This is one of the main reasons for using valve gates within medical. If we take a look at the hot runner itself, we've modeled up the hot runner in order to simulate how the valve gates are operated. But essentially we're using a servo drive to operate a plate which drives the stems forward and back, ensuring they remain synchronized. We're able to achieve an 18mm pitch from nozzle to nozzle, gate to gate, and that's essential in being able to take on small part weights and manage the residence time. The valve stem is guided in the front of the tip to ensure good gate quality and longevity of the gate components. Seal off in the system, and the valve stems are connected to the actuation plate by a shear pin. If there was to be any restriction in the gate area, the shear pin breaks in order to avoid any damage to the gate or to the valve stem components. All guided by a roller bearing to ensure great alignment and also low friction. The actuator plate itself is driven by a ball screw which is connected to the servo drive, and the ball screw is driving the yoke up and down, which in turn is driving the cam blocks up and down, which are running on linear bearings and linear rails. So with the cam follower that we have on the actuation plate, we convert that into the open and closed motion of the stems. Within the hot runner itself, and the melt channel sizing, and the thermal and geometrically balanced, this stays consistent with a standard hot tip or a standard valve gate system. So as the material comes in, separates, we have level changes within the manifold, which ensure that we don't see a preferential fill to certain cavities. And by optimizing this balance, we help to ensure that we're able to achieve the same size part dimensions across all cavities. This is essential when increasing cavitation, but whilst also needing to keep the same wide process window. So ICU Medical turned to Husky for hot runners, temperature controllers, and machine solutions. And TechMold were instrumental in the design and manufacture of the fully optimized mold, working in partnership with Husky. Both ICU Medical and TechMold representatives are available on the Husky booth this week. The controls for the servo drive controlling the valve gate are all contained within the Altanium Matrix temperature controller. So not only is the temperature controller controlling the tips, the manifold, and the sprue heats within the hot runner, it's also containing the servo drives which are required to operate the valve stems. One of the main advantages of keeping this within the servo drives and the valve gate control as part of the temperature controller is if this mold ever needs to run on a different machine, it's able to transfer with the temperature controller and run on any machine. It also enables us to interface the controller with the machine to ensure that we're not able to inject plastic and we're not able to move the valve stems until the temperature of the material is up to the set points and soaked for a sufficient period of time. So if we look specifically at clean room requirements, we see from our customers today, really all of the medical molding that we come across is done within Class 7 and Class 8, or 10,000 and 100,000. So essentially what we're interested in measuring is the number of particles greater than 0.5 of a micron within the atmosphere. At Husky, at our headquarters in Bolton, we've built a clean room which is capable of going down to Class 4, where we're able to analyze the cleanliness of the machine and the mold and the hot runner and any other equipment that we choose to put into the clean room in isolation. This helps us to ensure that for any given system, at a given cycle time, we're able to provide a cleanliness figure and to enable us to add additional clean rooms, fan filter units where required in order to reach the customer requirements. But essentially, what we see here is for the various classes, class 8, 7, 6, and 5, we see the particle counts which we need to fall within to achieve that level of classification. So what we see here on the graph is that the injection molding machine at rest is comparatively clean. We're able to achieve even class 5, which is way and above what anyone reasonably needs to do within medical molding. But as we cycle the machine, as we cycle it faster, at 12 seconds, 8 seconds, and 4 seconds, we see inherently more particles coming off the machine. We're actually disturbing the airflow more. And so we're having an impact here on the cleanliness of the system. But what we can say on this particular application, that at a 4-second cycle time, we're able to achieve a class 7 and a class 8 certification without any additional components onto the machine. And these change rate figures just give you an example of the typical change rate numbers required to achieve those particular classifications. So in terms of what can be done to the basic machine to improve the cleanliness and to offer the cleanliness required to run certain medical applications, we have the following options. The machine that we have on the stand today has a fan filter unit contained on it, which looks similar to the one you see on the bottom right. What this is essentially doing is it's taking air in, it's filtering the air through a laminar flow filter, a HEPA filter. It's creating a positive pressure within the clamp area, and it's exhausting the air out the back of the clamp. So this is taking typically an unclassified molding room down to a class 8 mold area. So typically with this configuration, the parts would be ejected, put into a covered conveyor, and either separated to put into a clean box, or they would be transported through a hole in the wall into a clean room assembly area. But essentially with the fan filter unit, we have the option of getting the machine out of the clean room, saving costs associated with taking up space in our clean room. The other option is to have a particle containment system. The particle containment system is very similar, but it's extended over the injection area to capture the debris coming off the purge. We also filter the air as it leaves the system. So we use a HEPA filter on the exhaust to ensure that we don't contaminate the clean room. So the particle containment system would typically be installed on the machine, which was already within the clean room, to take the classification down from class 8 to class 6. And the final solution is to incorporate a full clean room around the machine, usually which surrounds the clamp area only, in order that we keep the injection unit out of the clean room. But Husky is able to offer a complete system to supply this, working with partners in both North America, Europe, and Asia, and South America. So the results on this particular application for ICU, by help of our pellet to part melt stream management, by taking the raw material in, making sure we optimize every characteristic through to the final part, we're able to optimize the mold design to ensure the system balance and repeatable part dimensions. The UltraSync E ensured tight pitch, synchronized valve gate control, and excellent gate quality. We have some samples of the parts if anyone would like to take a look at the gate quality that are on the front desk here. The HMED all-electric combines speed, precision, energy efficiency to achieve a sub 4-second cycle time with a target of 6 seconds. Overall, this resulted in 0 defects, improved productivity, full clean room compatibility, and minimized overall risk for the clients. At Husky, everything starts with the part. We take the original part, we perform a flow simulation on the part, and every hot runner system that we supply undergoes a mold flow study to calculate the injection fill time and the pressure required to fill the part. This is essential for using to design the optimized hot runner system. If we don't have particular experience with the resin, we ask for customer resin. We run resin tests through Husky machines, through Husky hot runners to find the optimum configuration, and then we use that to design the hot runner. When required, we do the full tool design optimization, so we optimize the mold cooling throughout the complete mold, the gate cooling, and also analyze warpage of the parts prior to cutting steel. This leads us to supplying the optimized hot runner with a partner mold maker and also with a temperature controller with the Altania matrix. In terms of the injection molding machine, we have two options. We have the H-Med all-electric and we have the high-electric hybrid machine. So to be able to compare the benefits of all-electric versus hybrid is one advantage we have in order to make sure we choose the right machine for the right application. In terms of process optimization and production monitoring, this falls within our shot scope software, and we'll be doing a live demonstration of shot scope on the Husky booth this week. As part of the refurbishment and sustainment, we will take back any Husky hot runner. We will analyze the hot runner, and based on carrying out the recommended work, we'll offer the hot runner back with full brand new warranty of 37 months parts warranty. So this really forms part of the comprehensive systems approach that Husky is able to provide. And the philosophy of starting with the part and optimizing everything back from the part to the final system is one advantage that Husky can provide. The new H-Med all-electric machine, which is being launched, was launched last year at K-Show and had its North American launch here at MD&M West, ranges from 80 ton to 350 ton. It's built on proven technology combined with the latest Husky technologies. It has a high focus on clean room compatibility, shot-to-shot repeatability, energy efficiency, to be able to accept the largest molds on any all-electric machine, and with speed and durability in mind. Combined with Husky's global service and support, we're offering 37 months parts warranty, which is consistent with all Husky products, and a 24-hour remote diagnostic service. This concludes the presentation this afternoon, but if there is any follow-on questions, please come over to the booth. The Husky booth is 4167, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have and to give you live demonstrations on the machine. Thank you.